Hey, Miss J, Uso is now in your city. Oh, so it's just me. Oh, okay. Day one, it's just me. Oh, day one, it's just me. Oh, okay. Day one, it's that. Let them all knock them down like this. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah. It's go time now, Wolves. Yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, let's get it, Wolves. Hey, I'm about to get it, Wolves. I'm about to get them all. Let's go. Oh, so it's just me. Oh, day one, it's just me. Day one, it's that. Let them all know. Knock them down like this. Yo, city! It's just me. Oh, okay. Day one, it's just me. Oh, day one, it's just me. Oh, okay. Day one, it's that. It's on me now, Oops. Hey, I'm gonna get them all. Get them all. Yeah. Get them. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. Yeah. So it's now we go. Sit down.
What's up, everybody? You know who I am. Andre the George Robinson, the fire starter in the building. Rise Up Late Night, brought to you by, you know, the Upstate Lady Predators, of course, finishing their season. Shout out to them. But we got a lot of sports to talk about, too. Shout out to NCW as well. They got an event tomorrow. Tomorrow, wrestling at its best. Obviously, you heard the intro, how to get this thing started. It's just me, Oos, of course. You know, SmackDown just going off just now. Phenomenal SmackDown, by the way. But we got sports talk to talk about. Want y'all to like and share this thing as we talk. one of our favorite things in the entire world that we like to talk about. Again, get your drink, get your snack, all that good stuff as we go down this journey, talking about everything sports, news. All right. First and foremost, obviously, you see I'm already ready and jacked up uh, for it, as you can see. Yeah, top 10 players right here. Top 10 players in the NBA right now. I found this to be a little funny. I think the order is a little off. How many people think that somebody is missing on this list? How many people, when you read it, Luka Doncic being number one, Nikola Jokic being number two, Giannis had three, Jason Tatum at four, Stephen Curry at five, SGA at six, Anthony Edwards at seven, Brunson at eight, LeBron James at nine, and Joel Embiid at 10. How many people think right off the jump, I'm going to spark it? How many people think LeBron James shouldn't be on this list right now? How about that? How many people think LeBron James shouldn't be on this list right now? How many people think Stephen Curry shouldn't be on this list right now? Put your thoughts in the comment section as I, kind of talk about this topic to begin the show. I know there's a lot of other topics we got to go through, like NFL topics and some WNBA stuff too. But I wanted to start off with this one because obviously everybody's talking about Paul George being in the news as far as joining Philadelphia with another max contract for the fourth time now that we've seen this song and dance with Paul George. And then I'm looking at this list, top 10 list. I do think that this list is, for the most part, accurate, except for a couple of things. I think a couple people should be higher than they are. Giannis at number three. Yeah, we like Giannis a lot. We know what you're doing out there in Milwaukee. We know what you've done for the culture. But I have to say that Giannis, the last year or so, I would not be putting at number three. I wouldn't put him at number three, to be honest. Jason Tatum is interesting that he's at number four. I find this interesting because they just duped him of the NBA MVP, Finals MVP, and gave it to his counterpart and Jaylen Brown. So my question is, why isn't Jaylen Brown on this list if Jason Tatum is? Interesting enough. Um, Stephen Curry, obviously, we know he didn't make the playoffs last year. Klay Thompson is gone now. His counterpart, Splash Brother. I guess we're going to see what Stephen Curry can do without his Splash Brother now. I mean, we've seen it before, I guess, in small, well, in doses because, he missed 2 seasons with back-to-back ACL tears on each leg. So I guess we have seen enough to know that Stephen Curry can be successful without his Splash Brother. I just think that environment is now a little different when you're gone completely instead of being gone out of an injury. We'll see how that affects Golden State. Now, Golden State has made some moves as far as getting Buddy Hield and some other guys that they're looking at potentially to kind of revamp this team up. They've got a young team in which they perform pretty well. Kuminga performed pretty well last year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm interested to see what happens with one Steph Curry being at 5. SGA in the Thunder. The Thunder is an interesting culture too, just for the simple fact that after you lose Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, you're like, what was this culture gonna be like? What was Sam Presti gonna be able to do to revise, revamp, reconstruct this OKC team? And SGA has done nothing but really thrive and actually do just that. We had talks about him being MVP last year. A lot of people thought he should have been MVP last year over Nikola Jokic. So him being at number 6 kind of shocks me somewhat. I do think he should be over Stephen Curry and Jason Tatum, if you ask me personally, especially when you have a young team. You don't have the same core as Boston has had. Boston has just a loaded deck. I mean, they're starting 5 right now. Obviously, Boston is paying their starting 5 $939 million, so almost a billy to actually play basketball, which is an absurd number. I don't think I've ever heard of a team that has paid almost $1 billion for a top five. I meant for 5 players on a starting lineup. Never heard of it. So I feel like SGA should be higher. Anthony Edwards. I mean, the phenomenon that is Anthony Edwards. I feel like people are so uh, fickle when it comes to success. They jump on the next best thing. So Anthony Edwards was talked about heavily in the playoffs, obviously, with the moves that the Minnesota Timberwolves made last year, making it to the Western Conference Finals, only to be beaten by Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. And I feel like the train fell off. People were talking about him being compared to the GOAT, Michael Jordan, uh, or presumptuously most people's GOAT, Michael Jordan. Um, and then now all of a sudden, Anthony Edwards is number 7. He's not even top 5 anymore, huh? We just forgot so quickly on what Anthony Edwards can do. So we just forgot about that real quickly. We jumped right off. Oh well, people jumped right off that bandwagon. I think Anthony Edwards needs to be higher than 7. Jalen Brunson. If it wasn't for injuries being written with injuries, his team being written with injuries, him and his team, I think the New York Knicks might have done more in the playoffs. I think they would have been a better matchup actually for the Boston Celtics than said Indiana Pacers if they weren't injured. But injuries we know happen in sports, so we can't make that excuse too much. Um, he's a phenomenal up and coming player. I feel like he should have been higher than 8. The fact that LeBron James is number 9, I think we keep doing this because LeBron James is 40 plus being the face of the NBA. For some reason, we just can't leave him out of lists. Um, I mean, LeBron James, they got bounced in the playoffs very quickly. Once again, this has happened multiple times, but we still give him props at 40 for doing what he's done 21 seasons in the NBA. So we keep him at number 9 for some reason over Joel Embiid, which I think is absolutely absurd. There's no way I'm putting LeBron James right now over Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid thrived in the playoffs. Again, another team that was injured in the playoffs on one leg, dropping 30 plus points per game. And now we see that they've got a new acquisition in Paul George. Now, is Paul George going to do a whole hell of a lot? We've seen this song and dance and this act, this brotherly act, 4 times. I'm not really going to jump on the Paul George. Ooh, he's going to make the Philadelphia 76ers better because we thought that with the LA Clippers, and they got clipped right out of the playoffs and clipped out of conversation very quickly. So I'm not buying a Paul George thing, but Joel Embiid should be higher than number 10. That is absolutely a travesty. In fact, I would have switched Giannis for Joel Embiid if it was me personally. I do like Joel Embiid's game a lot more than I like Giannis's game. So again, Luka Doncic at 1, Nikola Jokic at 2. I mean, those are tough. Those two are super tough to you know try to take out. But I do think that the list is majorly accurate with majority of the players that's on here. I just think that some of them should be higher. Joel Embiid definitely should be higher. Anthony Edwards should be higher. SGA should be higher. Yeah. If you're putting James in this list, James should be number 10. If anything, Stephen Curry should be number 9. If anything, um, Jason Tatum, to me, again, like I told you, should be lower just for the simple fact that y'all allowed the NBA, well, whoever was voting for that, allowed the NBA to screw him right out of an MVP, giving it to Jaylen Brown. Which I mean, I ain't upset about the Jaylen Brown pick, but I do think that Jason Tatum, for all intent and purposes, a lot of people think that he slid through the playoffs last year. Shout out to Conrad Cushman. I see you. Barbara, what's up? Dalton, what up? I see you. I hear you. Um, keep putting your comments in the comment section. Nevertheless, we're going to take a ride on this scroll patrol. So let's move on from that. As I was talking about earlier, this is now the new lineups for the Knicks and the 76ers. Right here, Jalen Brunson. The New York Knicks stupidly, and I think this is very stupid. I'm going to put it out there. I thought it was very stupid for the New York Knicks to go ahead and give up 6 first-round picks, I think, for Mikal Bridges. I get it. Mikal Bridges fits that Villanova, culture that the New York Knicks have built now in New York, the Villanova boys. I totally get it. But regardless of getting a culture, 6 picks is wild to me. 6 picks is absolutely egregious to me. And I think this is the reason why you're going to have big issues with the Knicks. And this is why the Knicks have issues with getting over the hump. It's because of silly moves, which this one seems kind of desperate for some reason. Silly moves. And then you got rid of Bogdanovich, who I thought should have stayed. I thought that Bogdanovich produced enough to where you could have seen what you could get from him another year healthy. So they have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Interesting enough, Julius Randle is coming back too. I think his game is good, but if he can't stay healthy, I was one earlier in the season that said maybe you should have traded him for another four, and got you a productive 4. Regardless of the fact, New York went the other way and decided to go get Mikal Bridges. Mitchell Robinson is now your center, seeing that Hartstein left and got the bag. Fine and dandy. Then we're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, in which Tyrese Maxey has been showing that he can be a perennial point guard with the likes of Joel Embiid. That 1-2 tandem has been pretty good for the 76ers. Kelly Oubre obviously being your 3. Kelly Oubre is a journeyman to me. Kelly Oubre is Kelly Oubre. You get, you give, and you get, I guess, with Kelly Oubre. He can give you a good game, and the next minute he can disappear. Eric Gordon is another journeyman. He's been many places, obviously. If that's who you want at your shooting guard position, so be it. I guess I thought they could have did better at the shooting guard position. And then Paul George being the acquisition, you paying $53 million a year for. Good luck. Good luck with that. Because if he can't stay healthy, I feel like that's a waste of money. if he can't produce the way you want him to produce, I think that's a waste of money. So we'll see what Paul George does, but I'm not hopping on the train of the 76ers. They got a chance to compete. All right, gotta show this. This is quite interesting. Speaking a little WNBA, going back to this. This is quite to me personally. I feel like this is quite ignorant of people. Now we gotta with the antics of how Angel Reese plays basketball. Let's be very honest and very clear. Anybody who knows about WNBA and knows about the pros, it is a different animal from college basketball, which I think a lot of what you're seeing as far as these shots that they're putting up here, trying to say, hey, Angel, this is how Angel pads stats or whatever the case may be, can very easily understand that with any player, and this includes Caitlin Clark too, there is a transition. Now, people have been super nice when it comes to one Caitlin Clark majorly, giving her favoritism for the most part as far as her transitioning. But then we'll make videos like this of Angel Reese. Obviously, for all intent and purposes, everybody knows what's up, Dwayne. Shout out to you. Knows that she is on her 11th double-double in a row. Interesting because her game has translated from college to the WNBA. Angel Reese was one who had 34 double-doubles in the year that they won the national championship, which was the most in college basketball at the time in college. So making videos like this, I just feel like do silly stuff like that. I have never seen Angel Reese one time do the "you too small" in a game. I've seen Alyssa Smith do it to her, do it to Angel, but I've never seen Angel Reese do that. So it's kind of weird that we're making these videos like this. Is it funny? Sure, I guess it's funny. But there's more than meets the eye when it comes from college to the WNBA. This one I find funny too. I'm gonna play this one because I find this to be kind of funny as well. So I'm gonna play this out loud. This is hilarious to me. Stephon Diggs, obviously, they're talking about him in Houston. They already think he's gonna be an issue in Houston, but I'm gonna play this.
Or I will cause problems. Lots of them. Why did you bring him here? He's been one of the best receivers in the league for years. I thought he could help. Yeah, but did you even talk to him? His attitude sucks. I didn't think I had to. Let me call Josh. Hello? Josh, it's CJ. CJ, is Diggs things up yet? Well, yeah. Actually, that's why I called you. What do I do with him? Hell if I know. Why do you think we traded? He's that bad? Yes, he's that bad. In fact, if you leave him alone for too long, he'll chew up your couch like an understimulated husky. Man, we just got that couch. Good luck, though. He's a hell of a player if you can keep him happy. It's just really hard to keep him happy. Great. This should be fun. I want more targets. The season hasn't started yet. Hey, CJ, we got you a new receiver. Meet Stephon Diggs. What's up, man? Happy to have you. Excited to see what you can do. Yeah, whatever. As long as you get me the ball, we won't have any problems. I mean, we'll get you the ball for sure, but we've also got Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. You're not going to be this, like, clear-cut number one guy. Yes, I am. What? Or I will cause problems. Lots of them. Why did you bring him here? He's been one of the best receivers in the league for years.
All right. Interesting enough. That sounds very accurate to me. Anybody who's watched Stephon Diggs for 4 years, yes, he's a phenomenal player. Obviously, him and Josh Allen being the tandem that they were for 4 years. Yeah, great tandem, but a lot of, ego and personal got in the way of that, to where the Bills decided to take a hit this year and trade him off for a second round pick, which a lot of people told me I was crazy for, by the way. I need to put that out there again. I need to let y'all know y'all indiscretions, because a lot of people was trying to tell me, oh no, Diggs will never get traded. Diggs is always going to be a hometown Buffalo Bills lifer. Yeah, okay. And then I get inboxes after February 26th. We all know what happened February 26th. No, actually it was April. Sorry, April. We know what happened in April. I put it out there in January, February-ish time that he was getting traded, and folks thought I was wild. So again, is what it is, but that is Stephon Diggs. I mean, you saw that in Minnesota. We had the privilege, me and Mookie Hawkins, on a radio show to talk to his mom, in which I kind of asked her about the culture between Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins. Now, I asked that for a reason, even though that's a question that's probably hot, that was hot at the time, but as you see, the same thing occurred again. Even with Josh Allen. So I'm not this time ever going to try to ask CJ Stroud that same question, or ask them that same question when it pertains to CJ Stroud, how he's going to feel about Stephon Diggs. Now, how many people think Diggs is going to have the same type of impact as he did in Buffalo in Houston? I'd love to see this. I don't think it's going to be the same. I just think Houston has better receivers, and as you see, I think that they have better coaching than Buffalo, and that sounds crazy because, Sean McDermott's been a phenomenal coach. He's been sixth in the last since 2018. The Bills have been in the playoffs 5 of 6 seasons. Yeah, it's great what Sean McDermott's done. Yet. We've watched Houston in year one take a rookie quarterback, a rookie defensive player of the year, and a rookie coach, and they went to the same round of playoffs this year that the Buffalo Bills did. So I think the receivers are better. I think Nico Collins is better than Gabe Davis. We expected a lot from Gabe Davis, and then Gabe Davis is now gone too to Jacksonville. So, I mean, Diggs and Davis both gone. Buffalo showed you last year, the last 6-7 games of the year, that you could win without both of them. Interesting enough. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said about what the Houston Texans did last year. Got to respect what the Houston Texans did with that young team that they had. Another team that's kind of parallel to them is the Green Bay Packers. I see Green Bay and Houston kind of parallel. First-year quarterback takes his team with all the young weapons that they have over there, and they just went to the same round of the playoffs that the Bills did. And we're very close to being in that next round. I mean, all 3 teams, well, no, Houston kind of got beat the second round, but Green Bay was closer to making it to the NFC Championship game last year. We all saw what they did with the 49ers. Too bad that he couldn't get it done. Jordan Love makes rookie mistakes in the second half. Yeah, we know the story. Diggs is a diva, Dwayne said. This is Diggs' third team. Usually when a player has been on multiple teams, they start to decline. He could start to do that. What's that for? Yeah, again, talking about that whole aura. Shout out to Monster who's watching right now as well. That whole aura of Stephon Diggs and being his third team. Again, we know that his behaviors have totally continued. Hopefully they don't in Houston. But I think that video is very accurate for the most part. And again, you have to give the Houston Texans props what they did this past season without him. So with him, they should be better. If Diggs is that guy, then he should be a force, what we call force multiplier. He shouldn't be just a jag, just a guy. He should be a force multiplier. He should be the guy who contributes, in the offense. And then with contributing to the offense, there's another aspect in which the receivers that are around him should be even better this season coming up. So we're going to hope we see that for sure, because I don't know if we've seen that too much besides Khalil Shakur. Khalil Shakur did a little better last year. Dalton Kincaid definitely shined last year. Both of them actually definitely shined last year. But we're going to hope that can translate. If he can't put up the numbers that a lot of people expected last year. But once again, like I told you, the Bills kind of showed you the last 6-7 weeks of the season that they could win without Diggs and Gabe Davis. We're going to hope that with a second-year team now, with the second-year quarterback and CJ Stroud with a second-year coach, that they can elevate that as it pertains to their journey of success. So hopefully we'll see that. And if we don't, then again, then you know what it is. Sports logos tier list right here. Best of the best, great, good, average, below average, disgrace. I put this up because I found this to be kind of weird. This list is kind of weird. Best of the best, New York Yankees. Okay. I'm going to start off by saying the New York Yankees are overrated. Super overrated. Super califragilisticexpialidociously overrated. How many championships have the New York Yankees won since 2000? How many championships have they won since 2000? Like, I get it. We got a lot of sports fan bases that love to live in the past. If we were talking about the past, they'd be the greatest, one of the greatest. But since 2000, how many championships have the Yankees won? You guys can put that in the comment section if you want. I think it's asinine to think that the New York Yankees are like the best of the best. I get it. They talking about how sports logo looks. It's an N and a Y. I mean, no disrespect, but okay. The Boston Red Sox, another team that, I mean, yeah. I'm not going to talk about the Brewers. Brewers is trash, god awful garbage. I don't know why the Raiders, god awful trash. I get it. The logo looks cool, black and silver. The Orioles. The Orioles did anything? No. Bulls ain't did nothing since Michael Jordan. Colorado Avalanche, I'm okay. They just won recently. I'm okay with that. The Mighty Ducks, they have movies, obviously. You know how people feel about the Mighty Ducks. The mighty Ducks. But a lot of these I feel is overrated. Chicago, okay, cool. Penguins, okay, cool. Boston, 6. The Boston Bruins, obviously. Detroit Red Wings, another one. Like, what have they really done much? Does it look cool? The little wings, whatever. LA Kings, yeah, they won some championships more recent, but you got other ones down here like great. Minnesota Vikings, great. Wait a minute. The Vikings logo is great. And then I'm looking at the G down here below average. Yeah, okay. I find that to be highly disrespectful. And that not just because I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I just find that highly disrespectful because the Vikings have done not a damn thing at all. Um, so that's kind of weird. The logo, skull, skull, skull. Yeah, find it to be BS. The Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, it's a LST. Seattle Mariners, it's I think they've been great since Ken Griffey and them. So whatever. Tampa Bay, um, okay, kind of looks cool. The pirate flag, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. The Jaguars, bro. No, you didn't put the Jaguars over. No, you didn't put the Jaguars over like the Sabres logos. The Sabres logo is fire to me. It should be right up there, if you ask me. I think that's bullshit, but whatever. Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays are obviously, we cover the Bisons. The Bisons is the farm team to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were here too. Blue Jays is an up and coming team, but I mean, would I say their logo is great? No about that. The Angels, they've got movies on Angels in the outfield, whatever the case may be. The Cubs have always been talked about, a storied franchise, whatever. Do I think their logo is great? No. Steelers, obviously, storied franchise. Bengals, you're putting like the Ravens. To me, that's crazy. I just don't. I don't see it. I think this list. I'm not gonna go through every single one of these, but I think this list is straight shit, straight dog shit. If you ask me, the Kraken logo is great. That's a great logo. Yeah. Wow. I don't know who made somebody. The person who made this list is absolutely absurd. I don't even know what the criteria is for the look of the logo. I'm telling you right now, somebody need a different set of eyes because this is just straight garbage. Straight garbage. We got the Rockets good. I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. I just thought it was hilarious to be looking at. American athletes of all time. Now this will get a little interesting too, like the NBA list. Pat Hamilton, what's up? Just like the NBA list, this one is quite interesting in itself. How many people think now? Look, just looking at this list, that you're missing somebody on this list. Who do you feel is missing off this list? Honestly, I do think there's a couple missing off the list. I do. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Serena Williams, Jackie Robinson. I mean, that's a good four. I like that. Babe Ruth, definitely. Jim Thorpe. We know about Jim Thorpe, right? Everybody know about Jim Thorpe. We know about what Jim Thorpe did in sports. We know the Pennsylvania hometown, Jim Thorpe, the American Olympic gold medalist, Jim Thorpe. We know what he did. Mr. I was born in 1887, the Bright Path. And that's what they used to call him, the Bright Path. Translation, won gold medals, first Native American to do so. We all know about that. How many people even knew Jim Thorpe was Native American? We know that. Anybody know that? We know kind of interesting, right? A lot of people probably didn't know that. Regardless, Jim Thorpe at 6, Michael Phelps at 7, Jesse Owens at 8, Magic Johnson at 9, Tom Brady at 10. Wow. Okay. When I say names, tell me if they should be up or down on this list. Michael Phelps, you think he should be higher or lower on this list? Jesse Owens, higher or lower on the list? Magic Johnson, higher or lower on the list? Tom Brady, higher or lower on the list? And who are we missing off this list? And if anybody says Caitlin Clark, I'm probably going to have a conniption fit because I've seen people literally write that. I think that's absolute bullshit. Please do not write Caitlin Clark. I will laugh. I mean, if that's how you feel, go right ahead. But please do not say Caitlin Clark. That would be crazy to me. Absolutely absurd to me. All right. I got to think about that. We'll move to the next slide. Obviously, there is some people missing on it. I think Simone Biles should list, but okay. Moving right along. We ain't gonna talk about the Sabres stuff. That's another show, another time. With all the departures and additions. I could talk about it real fast. Here we go. GMKA. You know that's your nickname now. GM Kevin Adams. Boy, oh boy. I mean, I just find it kind of weird. Jeff Skinner, really? I think Jeff Skinner produced good enough. He's going to be a guy who's going to go to another team, and he's probably going to win. Just like we just watched Sam Reinhart and Oposo both win at Florida with the Panthers. Jurgensen, another guy. Tyler Jost, guys that we've had for a while. Eric Robinson, guy that we had for a minute. Comrie is cardboard. I can give less than a damn with the Eric Comrie departure. I'm fine with that. I told them they should have got rid of him a while ago. And then they finally decided to, do it. So, pass, I think, it should resonate because I think it's playoff team. So, move right along. I want to play this. This is hilarious.
Come on, Maury. He's obviously my dad. I ain't your daddy. We're nothing alike. What you mean, old man? We got the same. Dad would never get his ass kicked by a white boy. Didn't Larry Bird kick your ass? Maury, do you want your ass kicked? Man, I thought for sure he was my dad. Don't be too upset, eh? We were able to find your real dad. Come on out here. Oh, not this motherfucker. Come on.
Luka Doncic talking to again earlier, like I said, people were comparing him to Michael Jordan last year in the playoffs, which I find it kind of phony that he was so low on the list of top 10 players in the WNBA. I mean, not in the WNBA, but the NBA. Sitting up here putting Jason Tatum over him, I think it's kind of crazy, crazy disrespectful. Des Carter, what's up? Jason Tatum is not Anthony Edwards. Please, let's stop that now. All right, I'll put it out there. If y'all don't want to put it out, nobody want to be real about that. Jason Tatum is not Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, to me, is all around better than Jason Tatum. Period. Like, I mean, on the offensive end, we know what Anthony Edwards can do on the offensive end. We also know what he can do on the defensive end. He has the dog mentality, that swagger. That's why he kind of was getting those comparisons to your airness. So I don't hear nobody comparing Jason Tatum to nobody. So I find it weird that we got Jason Tatum at number 4. I guess because he just won a championship, but then they screwed, like I said, but then he didn't get the MVP award, which is interesting. Jaylen Brown got it. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan. A lot of people thought that the Lakers were going to do more. I mean, they could. We'll see. Kyle Lowry, the list, Markelle Fultz, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Smith Jr., shooting guard. You got Malik Beasley, Gordon Hayward, Gary Trent Jr., Luke Kennard. Again, DeMar DeRozan. Miles Bridges is still around. Both Bridges. That's crazy. Bridges got signed. Mikal Bridges got signed to the Knicks, and Miles Bridges is still in free agency. Caleb Martin, I thought he was pretty decent. Caleb Martin with the Heat. Saddiq Bey, power forward. You got Keith Morris, Robert. They said center position. Tristan Thompson. I think he is so garbage. I think he is so boo-boo cheeks. Tristan Thompson. Mizak Biyombo. Interesting enough. Cody Zeller. JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee is always on somebody's free agency list. And the Clippers should sign Miles Bridges and Robert Covington. Maybe. Again, Paul George has left. More departures for the Clippers coming up. So, I mean, we shall see. The free agency season continues as the offseason of the NBA continues. Golden State should get the JaVale McGee. Warrior already was a Golden State Warrior before. And interesting. I mean, if he actually fits. Now, NBA. I mean, now that we NFL talking, back to the NFL again real quick. You are an expansion team. You got to pick 2 players. What 2 players would you pick to build your team around? You got Tom Brady, who is presumptuously the GOAT in most people's eyes. Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Ray Lewis, LT, Lawrence Taylor. That looks like Ron Lott. This is not one of those easy conversations. This is a very, very, very interesting conversation to be had. If you're an expansion team, which 2 do you pick? Well, me personally, I'm going 1 offense and 1 defense just because you got to have a foundation on both sides of the ball, to me, to start. So if I had to pick 1 offensive player, a lot of people obviously would say Tom Brady because he's a GOAT. IQ is pretty good, but I'm not going to say Tom Brady. I think he's the easy pick for some. He's the pick that people would just say, yeah, Tom Brady, because he's got 7 rings. Tom Brady, IQ-wise, is probably one of the smartest, but talent-wise, I would say there's quarterbacks that talent-wise are better than him. Talent-wise, better than him. And I think sometimes, as you see, talent goes a mile away. Now, does he have longevity? Of course. Tom Brady played 20 seasons. So his numbers, you see, like LeBron James, are number one. He's played 20 years. But talent-wise, I think there's quarterbacks that are better than him. Peyton Manning, more talented. Aaron Rodgers, more talented. Dan Marino, more talented. So they say run game and defense wins championships and playoffs when you got run game and defense. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go run game and defense. It's nice to have Jerry Rice up here, Randy Moss up here. That's fine and dandy. That's good. But it's also great to have Barry Sanders and Walter Payton up here. Now, people will say Barry Sanders, he lost yards a lot. Well, his offensive line was straight garbage, straight boo-boo. But then there's people who would say, well, he had a pretty good offensive line for a couple years, but could never convert 3rd and 2s. Had issues with goal line running. But astonishingly, we know that Barry Sanders was one of the most electrifying running backs of all time. Barry Sanders would make the most simplest of runs look phenomenal. Walter Payton, sweetness, obviously, hard-nosed runner. Walter Payton, always north and south. When it comes to Walter Payton, one of the greatest. If I had to pick between the two, that'd be super tough for me to do. I'm cringing right now just thinking about who would I pick on these two. And I'm a geared towards Sanders because I see more of Sanders than Payton. But that is not to disrespect Walter Payton at all. I'm going to go with Barry Sanders. A lot of people also said that he was a quitter, thought that he was a quitter somewhat. I don't think he's a quitter per se, just because his career was only 11 seasons. A lot of people thought that he should have a lot of the running records if he would have stayed around. But as we look at it in hindsight now, a lot of running back careers don't even last that long anymore. So we may blast him for playing an even tougher era of football and not staying longer, but running backs don't last that long now in a softer era of football. I'll take Barry Sanders to be one. Defensively, you got Ray Lewis, you got LT on here, you got Deion Sanders, and you got Ronnie Lott on here defensively. This is a passing era. So as much as I know that this is a passing era, you need a lot of pass rush. We've seen it, that pass rush can do a whole hell of a lot of good to a team when your secondary may not be the greatest. But this says pick 2 players to build around. This doesn't say 2 players that you got to stick with and you can't get nobody else. So for that reason, I already want my secondary to be crazy dope. I'm taking Deion Sanders any day and twice on Sunday when it comes to secondary. He, to me, is the GOAT of cornerbacks to ever play. I'm taking Deion Sanders. And that is because obviously this is a passing league. It's nice to have Lawrence Taylor. Trust me, a lot of people will say Lawrence Taylor, and it's not even close. Please, he should be the pick on this. But I will say that we're talking about build around. We're not saying that we can't go get Lawrence Taylor later or we can't get Ray Lewis later. I'm getting Deion Sanders. I'm building around that, Deion Sanders, and letting the chips fall where they may. If I get Barry Sanders, I can go get a good quarterback. That's not on this list. If I go get, and you probably could say the same the other way too. You don't have to pick Barry Sanders. You could have picked Jerry Rice. You could get a good running back later on. But for impact, if I want impact, like immediate impact, to me, I feel like I'm getting more impact in this era of football from them two than I'm getting from having said Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice did great wonders in a non-passing league. Get it. Respect it. Randy Moss, people don't say Randy Moss' name for no reason. Ray Lewis was a dog for Baltimore, a dog, a culture changer. I get it. LT is just straight exceptional. We already know what Lawrence Taylor can do. Ronnie Lott, a hard-hitting safety, known for being very tough. I'm not probably giving you the most traditional answer when I say Barry Sanders and Deion Sanders, but I'm taking the two Sanders. And I feel like everything else I can build. I can build from. Running game wins you championships in the playoffs, regardless of how people think about it. Running game wins you championships. Sorry about my camera. I didn't even notice that till just now. But yeah. All right. Very easily, we have already reached 1 hour. I'm going to stop here. There's so much more that we could talk about, but I'm going to stop right here. We at the 11 o'clock hour, and I got work to do. So with that being said, I'm going to see you guys again coming up real soon. I'll have some more sports talk to, talk about later on in the week. It's always fun talking sports with you guys. And before I go, I have to say this. Before I go, I can't leave this out. Listen, when we talk sports on social media, I feel like there is a certain decorum and certain respect we should have for people's opinions. If everybody had the same opinion, it would never be a reason for sports talk. I don't expect me out of others. I think a lot of us expect you out of other people, and I think that's wrong. You can't expect the you out of everybody. Everybody is different. That's what makes everybody unique in their own way. So when somebody puts up a post and they give premise, and then you come on the post, knowing that the person is qualified to make said post, and you say silly shit on a post, I'm going to flame you. You know exactly who you are. And I'm not going to even put your name out. I was going to put your name out here because I felt like it was absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not even going to put your name out here. Know who you are. Stop being a simpleton, okay? Being a simp. Certified simp when it comes down to sports talk. If you can't hold a conversation without the stupid antics, then you're not mature enough for sports talk. Please don't get on one of my posts, because I'm going to straight flame you. because I'm the type of person who researches. I'm the type of person who has premise for what he's gonna say. I'm not the type of person that's just gonna spew a whole bunch of junk and not have nothing to go along with it. That's just not me personally. I'm not lazy like that. So when you come on post, please know that you're coming on a post with somebody who's certified to talk this, somebody who's qualified to talk sports talk. All right. And keep it at sports talk. Because if you don't, I'm going to flame you. The next time, I'm not going to be so nice. I'm going to say your name and initials when you come on my post. All right. Keep it 100. Keep it sports talk. You don't want it to go nowhere else. All right. With that being said, love y'all to death. Thank y'all for tuning in. Quick hour went by just like that. Again, I'm saving certain conversations for next week coming up, like WNBA conversations on Rookie of the Year, all that good stuff. I got all that too. But we'll talk about that next week. The Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, trying to give it a little rest. But we'll talk about it next week. All right. Appreciate y'all. Glad to see the people who joined, listened. Appreciate you as well. I'm gone.